And finally, new rule, power is like owning rabbits. The more you have, the easier it is to get a lot more. That's actually not a new rule. It's a rule as old as time, and it was my theme in this space 2 years ago when another Supreme Court vacancy was in the news. And that theme, that power begets power, should be on everyone's mind right now. The idea that when you lose power, you've not only lost that fight, you made it harder to win the next one. That's how power works. When Democrats lose elections, they lose the ability to appoint judges. Trump has appointed a quarter of the entire federal bench, and unlike his wives, that's for life. In Florida, the people voted to restore voting rights to ex-felons, but that's not really going to happen because Trump appointed 5 of the 6 appeals judges who found a way to undo that, and as is so often the case, make it harder for Democrats to vote, which means more Republican senators who appoint more conservative judges. Power is a perpetuating cycle, like when Terminators build more robots. Of course, Democrats are screaming now about Republican hypocrisy over Trump filling the Ginsburg seat in an election year. They said one thing when it was Obama, now they're saying the complete opposite. How do they sleep at night? I'll tell you how, like a baby. Because like a baby, they have no morals. And if you haven't gotten it yet, this kind of completely bald-faced, premeditated hypocrisy should make it clear. There's no catching them in an inconsistency. They don't care, because it's all and only about power. The only rule Republicans play by... The only rule they play by is the people who win make the rules. Power talks, losers walk. Nancy Pelosi's response to stopping Trump getting a 3rd seat on the court was, quote, "We have arrows in our quiver that I'm not about to discuss." Great, now the Democrats are bringing arrows to a gunfight. But I don't think we have any arrows in our quiver. I think our quiver is bare. They have the power, and they're going to use it to make a court with 6 conservatives. And when the 2020 election winds up in the lap of that court, as they're practically already promising it will, guess who wins? We can't stop them from getting the court seat, which means we can't stop them from picking the election winner. It's like being in an arm wrestling contest. You can come back from here. It's almost impossible to come back from here. How different it all could have been. Not to relitigate old wounds, but all the Hillary equivocators from 2016, the people who said she was racist, not really that different from Trump, the ones who voted third party, the ones who stayed home because, you know, the lesser of 2 evils. Sorry, but you all have to eat it one more time. Because, oh, how I would love me some of that Hillary evil right now. You know, the evil where liberals would currently have a 6-3 majority on the court. The evil where people wouldn't be facing having their health care taken away or their right to vote, or where America wasn't sliding into autocracy. Yes, yes. Let's look at the alternative universe. If a few more people in 2016 had told themselves, yeah, she's not my favorite, but you only get 2 choices in our system, it's probably better to make sure this sane, competent person gets in as opposed to a malignant narcissist. In that universe, we're still in the Paris Climate Accord, and Iran's nuclear program is still frozen, and maybe so is Greenland. There have been none of the rollbacks on clean air and water. Dreamers don't have to worry about getting tossed out of the only country they've ever known. William Barr is just a right-wing crank self-publishing a book on our moral decline. And Brett Kavanaugh is drinking from home. It's a wonderful world, this world. People hearing the words P-tape only think of R. Kelly. And no one has needed or heard of a pink pussy hat, let alone tried to knit one. And look, no nation as fundamentally unhealthy as this one could escape a pandemic unscathed, but I think Hillary would have done a little better than let them drink bleach. So, the Supreme Court hears oral arguments to overturn Obamacare on November 10th. Once this new justice is seated, Obamacare is likely gone. And after that, Roe versus Wade. So I hope you enjoy carrying your rape baby to term. You can name it Jill Stein. Yes, Joe Biden is far from a perfect candidate, and I have serious doubts they'll ever let him take office. But giving him a vote total so huge it will be hard to ignore is the very last Hail Mary pass we have.